Welcome to Fangirling Episode 3. I'm Natasha Fox, your narrator and interviewer, and we are joined today by three of the stars of our show. And I'm going to have you guys introduce yourselves individually, and let's start with you, Kyle.
Hi, I'm Kyle. I am the producer and husband of Marie Claire Gould, the writer-director of Fangirls, and I'm really excited to be here.
Yes, and also, of course, our Lex on the show.
Oh, that too.
Don't forget you're actually in it. And how about you, Kait?
Hi, I'm Kait Kliman, and I am the mom, Sharon.
And Ty, of course, was on our earlier episode, but we have you back today because we wanted to get the family together.
Aw. Yeah, hello, I'm Ty. I play Allie.
So good to have you guys on, and having listened to the most recent episode, I just want to congratulate you guys because you're amazing. You've all done just an excellent job. And I know it was kind of a very emotional episode and very dramatic in that positive way. All right, well, let's actually just start with some of the projects that you guys are currently working on. And I see that you're working on an audio drama here, Kait.
Yeah, I have my own audio drama called The Insomnia Project. It's comedy horror about a science experiment gone wrong. And actually, Kyle will be on a later episode coming up in a few episodes here. So that's kind of fun.
Nice.
We've worked together on other things, so it's nice.
That's great. So you guys collaborated before or are collaborating now.
Yeah.
Can I ask what kind of role you're playing, Kyle?
I think I'm playing a manager or the owner of a small diner.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's right or not, but his name is Hank.
Yes.
All capital letters.
With an exclamation point, ideally.
Yes.
That's amazing. I love it. How about you, Ty? Have you been doing any podcasting or recording?
I'm currently shifting gears a little bit. My podcast that I had, I'm actually going to fold it into my channel because it takes up so much time.
Yes.
And I need to start focusing on editing more because I want to get better at it as far as like video editing. So I'm actually going to fall for it, the Asian Drama Pod. I'm going to fold it into my channel and do the ideas that I had for the pod into videos. So that's my goal right now. That's what I'm going to focus on. So yeah, my channel is called Wit and Folly, and I talk about Star Wars and now Asian dramas and plenty of other things.
That's great. As someone who's consuming a ton of videos on Asian dramas now that I'm into them, I'm very much looking forward to your new content.
Yeah, me too. Thanks.
And YouTube videos always take quite a lot of time to produce and to edit. And so it is awesome that you're doing that as a labor of love. We appreciate it.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thanks.
And Kyle, I know that you guys are still working on Tavern Tales and also recording with your lovely children and their exploits in the D&D world. Did you want to talk about that?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, Tavern Tales is still going strong, coming out every Wednesday, wherever podcasts can be found. Tavern Tales Junior comes out every other Tuesday. So it's now twice a month. And yeah, I'm going to be in the Insomnia Project coming up soon, as soon as that gets edited. And I just got cast in the role of Sheriff Potts on the audio drama Dancin', which should come out this summer. I'm also in the forthcoming musical audio drama called Unlucky Charm, where I play one of the characters' fathers. And I'm also the musical director for that, which is all original music, all written and created by brand new composers who don't know what they're doing, written by composition people who are really wonderful, but also are new in this sort of thing as well. And it's an ongoing project that's been going on since October of last year.
Well, that's excellent. Yeah, you're using your theater knowledge to good use here.
You would think. It's more like just event management than anything else.
Project management for sure. Yeah.
Yep.
So, Kait, in terms of your experience with audio drama recording, how long have you been doing that? And has it really helped you and informed your experience in working on this project?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I still consider myself to be pretty new. I think I started about a year ago now, but it's actually been kind of nice because I'm just now kind of feeling in the flow where I'm comfortable with my recording setup and feel like I'm just getting better at simple things like emoting, honestly.
Yeah.
So it's actually been really nice. I'm just now to the point where I feel really comfortable and like I have something to offer and that I can do a good job.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any kind of theater background?
No. Maybe a drama class in high school, which was like 15 years ago now. So not really, no.
So the question I asked everyone on the show, including already Ty on the earlier episodes, but how do you feel about Star Wars? Are you a fan?
I'm a fan, yeah. Although I will say I had sort of this slight paranoia that this is where you guys realize I'm a filthy casual. It's just
not at all.
Where I enjoy it. I genuinely do. I love the movies. I'm excited whenever a new one comes out, but I cannot profess to say that I'm really deep into the fandom. I'm a casual enjoyer of Star Wars.
We love all casual enjoyers of Star Wars. They make, that's who everything is for. So We're the weirdos over here that are really into it. Kyle, I know that you get a lot of exposure simply because Marie Claire has done so much work with interviews and Star Wars and creation of content and just interacting with the community. And I know that you've been around as well, like always seeing you on Twitter. How do you feel about Star Wars? Have your feelings increased by that exposure, or have they been have you gotten sick of it?
I always thought that I was a big Star Wars fan. I went to see the Phantom Menace opening day 5 times.
Oh my gosh.
We stayed in line overnight to see the Phantom Menace. I have so many Star Wars related memories growing up of seeing The Return of the Jedi with my 3 younger brothers on opening weekend with my dad, and then shooting each other in the forest all summer long and pretending to be Ewoks fighting stormtroopers. And that I was wrong. I'm not a Star Wars fan. I know who Kit Fisto is, and he's like one of my favorite Jedis, but I live with Marie Claire, and I learned early on that her love and depth of devotion to Star Wars far exceeds anyone else I've ever met. We played Trivial Pursuit one day, Star Wars Trivial Pursuit. There were 7 of us in the room, and she took on every single one of us. The other 6 of us just stayed on the same team.
Yes.
She played Star Wars Trivial Pursuit. We answered 3 questions in a row, got down to get a pie, and we failed that question, which Marie Claire then swooped in and answered correctly. And then she did to straight up answer 27 questions in a row correctly and won the game. We never even got another turn. We just sat there and read questions at her in amazement.
Wow.
Stuff about the background production of Star Wars, things about the fandom, things about the shows themselves, and even minor subsidiary characters. She knows it all. I've always then felt like, well, I must just be a casual Star Wars fan because it does not fulfill my every niche and crevice of my soul the way it does for Marie Claire.
Yeah, you didn't absorb it by osmosis, it sounds like.
I actually feel like I know less about Star Wars than I ever did before.
Well, there is a lot to know. And not all of it is engaging in certain ways. But in terms of this project, I'm sure it sounds like you are pretty supportive and invested in it. And we appreciate you having it. When
your partner loves something, just love it back.
Yeah.
Easier than anything else. If it's BTS, just love it back. Because if you start to resist it or be against it, you just create tension in the relationship that's unnecessary.
That's some really good advice. Relationship goals. So let's talk a little bit about the episode itself, not only the production of it, but also, of course, the meta on the actual story of what's going on. We had a huge reveal the last episode before this one. Of course, we found out Lex was a boy instead of a girl. That catfishing online, unfortunately. But, it's all come to a really good place. We have, the introduction to his mom, Sharon, Kate, and also, Ty's reaction and feelings around that. Unpacking those. So we'll go into more of the details of that. And of course, I'm going to actually start with Ty and talking about how you approached this episode and your feelings about it, and perhaps maybe just your favorite interaction within it as well.
Yeah, this is when it starts getting really angsty. And I love angst. I love watching it. I always liked the little acting that I have done. I always loved acting with a lot of angst. And the introduction of this episode starts with like Kyle's monologue, with Lex's monologue about how he met Allie and everything. And we did the reading for it to practice. And I remember listening to how Kyle was acting it and being really taken aback, because Kyle's done voice acting before. So he would put a lot of emotion into it that I wasn't expecting, and there's a little bit of an over exaggeration, I think, that you need when you do voice acting. It's something that I'm still learning. And so whenever I was reading the lines, when I was recording the lines for myself, I just kept going back to like how Kyle was pulling out that emotion for Lex. And it really affected me. And I think later in the next few episodes, even more so, because it doesn't get any better. So yeah, I kept going back to that. And Kyle's he's really good. He's really good at being emotional. So it's nice working alongside somebody like that, even though we're not recording lines together. The fact that we've like read together, and I keep that in my head. I know how he's going to say his lines, and that's helped me a lot to get the emotion that I need to have, because Allie's really just reacting to everything that's happening to her. Whereas with Lex, he's having to explain everything. So I feel like it's actually harder for him to act it. It's harder for his character. It's harder for him to act it than it is to be Allie and just to react to it. So.
Yeah. And you'll have, as the story progresses, we're not going to give out spoilers, but you'll definitely have more chances to have your own, reactions and feelings and process those. So going into it. Yeah.
Oh yeah. It'll get more challenging from here on out for sure.
Yeah. And Kait, I know that, you have kind of a brief experience just, coming in on these episodes for this one role, but you killed it.
Oh, thank you.
I heard My Mother, which is, really great.
Yeah.
But tell me a little bit about how you felt about the role, if you've read the other parts of the story to kind of know what's going on, or what was your favorite interaction in the episode?
Oh, yeah. So first off, I did read all the scripts because I have no self-control. If I have access, I'm going to read ahead, which was nice. Like, even though my character relates to pretty much nothing past this point, I still like that I get to sort of feel part of the process and know what's going on. And as far as the character, I am not a mom, so I was really kind of worried going into this. I kind of tried to take it like actually as a challenge, and make it something exciting. And I'm glad to hear you kind of felt like you were hearing your mom, because I was going for my mom when I was acting, because that was kind of all I had to draw off of was Rhonda and how Rhonda would have handled the situation.
I love it.
So yeah, that's honestly kind of where I was coming from there. It's just this really sweet lady that cares about everybody and is maybe kind of irritated with her kid and is just trying to help him be the best.
Gotta nudge them into it, don't you?
Yeah, or kick,
Or kick.
But and as far as favorite interactions, I really enjoyed all of the back and forth with the lines I had with Kyle. But I was never able to join up for an actual line reading, so it was kind of nice just hearing it after the fact. But the back and forth of just the nagging and the "Mom, why?" was hilarious to me, and I loved it. So I think that was my favorite.
That's excellent. Yeah, definitely made it sound like you were in the other room talking. Like, get your stuff together. You're leaving. Bye. Awesome. The interactions in this episode were very good, but I do think my favorite part was, of course, Kyle's monologue as Lex. And I actually felt emotionally moved listening to it, which I don't usually get from most things that I listen to. So congratulations on that. Kyle, did you want to talk about how your process is in approaching something that's so kind of heavy and intense? And, how do you bring that into your work?
I have not been doing this for very long. I've been an audio drama voice actor for less than a year now. I got started in August of last year. So role playing for a long time, though, has led to a lot of that skill and success, I think, in creating emotional relationships with the character. So my process is I get the script, I look at the script, I record the script. I try to think about where the emotional beats are for the character so that I can slowly reach them or quickly come to them as needed. It's not procedural. I don't do a score. Like there's some acting techniques where you can rate emotional intensity on a scale and then bring that scale, to each individual line. I don't take part of that. So I just try to do 3 or 4 takes where I build in intensity each one and then allow the director to choose which take they like the most, whether there was a middle intensity or the most. And I really just try to connect with the character themselves. With Lex, I understand who that is. I think there's many reasons why Marie Claire wrote this character to have 3 other brothers, because I personally have 3 other brothers. They're all at a football game with their dad. And I wouldn't have been the brother that would have gone to the football game with my dad. There were many times where my 3 younger brothers would go off and do some sporting event with my dad, and I would be at home reading a book or doing something. Sometimes because there was only 4 tickets and one person had to stay behind, and that person was me because I was willing to make that sacrifice. But I was also the one that didn't really connect with my siblings. And I feel like that's the way it is for Lex. And I feel like Lex's mom understands Lex so much better than she understands her other 3 kids, these 3 other big boys who are off playing football rough and tumble. And here's this graphic artist. Here's this guy who is now allowing people on the internet to call him a girl just so he can feel a part of things. And that's what Marie Claire did so beautifully in this episode, because I felt for sure reading about this that people were going to be mad about Lex and mad that he was catfishing, like you said, Nat. And he wasn't. You can see that it's vulnerable for him, that he doesn't have a friend group beyond these women, that he feels part of it entirely because they think he is a woman. And so he protects that as fiercely as he possibly can, just in order to maintain friendships. And then Marie Claire manages to write her way out of that problem, that dilemma, both in this episode and ongoing, where you can realize that Lex is a round, complete individual, and you can empathize with him and with the women that he's deceived, and still accept him and still find him as part of the group that he joins them on this adventure. How can you not love that?
Yeah, I really appreciate that. And there's lots of stories that are from, women, entering male spaces and being accepted. And I think it's really good to see an example of a male character, whether, whatever the circumstances are, he is part of a group of friends that are women that accept him and he accepts them back. And that kind of friendship surpasses a lot of things. And it's really nice to see. And I'm excited to see how, of course, this is going to be expressed throughout the next episodes, because I know the script, but I don't know how you guys are going to act it. And I think you'll do an excellent job just based on what I've read. I also want to give a shout out to the other actors that were involved in this episode, because what can I say? I really liked in the interaction between Lex and Rish. I'm sure you've heard about this from other people, but that was pretty fun. And it's nice to see like all of the others riffing off of the whole situation.
I agree. That was really fun to listen to.
Yeah.
Yeah, that dynamic that Marie Claire has created with all of these different women and Lex as well, and having different relationships with each other within this friendship group, all of them feel like they like each other for different reasons. And they're all part of this group in different ways. And then to throw this into, walking into Lex's mom's house and making dinner and cutting up a salad and everybody washing their hands, and the time that Christina took when she was editing and putting this all together, putting in all of the background sounds and the, whatever they're called, the noises of chopping and whatnot, really lends itself to really feeling like you're part of something that's genuinely happening.
Yeah, the Foley work is really amazing in this. I think it did a really good job of making it feel like you're in a house listening to people in separate rooms talking to each other, or in, going into their perspectives and hearing those sounds. It really creates a multidimensional experience. Having not listened to a lot of audio dramas myself, but I'm getting into them now.
How can you not? Yeah, it's just wonderful.
Do you guys have any favorites that you'd like to recommend for our listeners and for myself especially?
Oh, I listened to this one a while back. It was called The Message. and it's
yeah.
like, have you heard that?
I've heard it. I like it a lot.
I love it. I listened to it twice. I thought it was the coolest thing. And I've listened to a lot of audio dramas, a lot of well-produced ones. And that one really stood out to me. I thought the story was really cool. And now seeing this one come together and it being it's not like sponsored by any big company or anything. You know, all the ones I've listened to have been somewhat sponsored, or if they're put together by like a small group of people, then they take a lot of time to really, you know, dedicate to them before it's actually released. This one is kind of working off of like very relevant current ideas, and we're getting this stuff out there now, and like it's just a totally different thing. So now I'm actually really interested in like seeking out more that are not heavily
Mainstream.
produced, that are not mainstream, because of this one.
Yeah, there's a huge benefit to indie work because it's so accessible, and it does take so much effort and work behind the scenes. It's a labor of love, like I said, like most things that we do. We know that we're not going to get paid for them, but it's not just a hobby. It's also an endeavor that, you know, makes you feel enriched and like you're doing something that has value. It would be good to, seek out other voices that are doing similar things.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I would recommend something called the Insomnia Project.
I was going to say.
I felt weird bringing it up. I was like, this feels tacky.
Herself. That's totally fine.
We definitely fall in like the indie small production space. Everyone's definitely sort of working on it out of a labor of love, and indeed taking a very long time. All the timetables I set up keep not quite happening, and that's okay because everyone's just sort of doing it because they enjoy it. But yeah, Insomnia Project available now where podcasts are found.
And how long have you been recording that for again? Sorry if I missed it.
Oh, it's a good question.
Episode 1 came out on April 1st. I think it largely started in the winter of 2018.
Yeah, that sounds about right. We're sort of working on a staggered schedule. So like a month-ish ahead, we're recording for the next one. Everything's currently written. It's the production that takes forever.
Yes.
Which you guys know, I'm sure. Just sort of an ongoing thing. There's 10 episodes, so we'll probably be at it for quite a while.
That's nice, though. And what were your inspirations in going into this project?
Well, it's actually the first sort of whole thing I've written. I've done a bunch of short scripts before, but it was adapted off of the original idea first came because I didn't know what to write. What am I thinking about? I'm tired. And it just sort of spiraled into like the things that go wrong when you're sleep deprived and have insomnia and that sort of thing. I just sort of had this genuine love of audio dramas and honestly the fandom around audio dramas and just that whole space, and really wanted to get involved in doing my own. And so that's sort of spiraled into its own big thing.
That's excellent, though. Yeah. Have you made friends through the fandom in a way that you haven't before?
So many. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Like best friends that I have never met in real life, but more so the best friends that I've made are more like producing partners and making things, but that came about because we were all audio drama fans first. And so now in working together on things instead, like I have really, really close friendships with a lot of people, and it's really lovely.
Collaboration does form very strong bonds, doesn't it?
Yeah.
What main platform were you on when you were engaging with each other at the beginning?
Started out on Twitter. That's actually a big audio drama space, period. So especially if you're interested in finding sort of smaller indie operations, a lot of them are on Twitter. And that's where they'll it's a really sort of wholesome community where they try and sort of recommend other ones that you should check out to try and help their friends get more exposure. The audio drama community on Twitter is actually a really nice space that is very welcoming to people. It's nice.
That's awesome. Sounds like a community I could get into.
Yeah.
And Caitlin, if I had an idea for an audio drama, but I didn't know where to go and what to do, but I have this thing that I really want to write, is there a place I could go where I could have people support me in that and help me put it together?
Yeah, so there's...
Like if I just wanted to throw the whole thing together.
So it kind of depends on what the level of involvement you're interested in is. There's little production groups that have kind of assembled themselves. So the Insomnia Project is through Thrown Together Productions, where, because I was friends with Eli, who's currently in charge of it, I was able to sort of pitch the idea. And through that group, they helped connect me with voice actors that might be interested, connected me with someone that could do audio editing, all that jazz. There's other ones too. So like Pendant is a great space to contact. They regularly have an anthology podcast where you could just write a short script and they produce it, and that's it. So there's no sort of one place that you can go. You kind of have to go search out individual, maybe production groups to find what's right for you. But things do exist where you can say, hey, I have this. Can someone help me with the rest of it? And everyone just sort of collaborates and makes it happen.
That is incredibly wholesome. I love it.
Yeah, it's sweet, right?
Yeah.
Caitlin's being disingenuous because she's a director for Thrown Together Productions. She should really be pimping it as much as possible and getting all of these wonderful creatives to come and join. If you want to learn how to audio voice act, come join us. Come hop into our Discord and become our friend, and we will do things together.
Ooh, there's a Discord server. That's intriguing. I like that. Those are quickly becoming some of the most notable spaces for sharing stuff, and I'm glad to see that you guys have that. Well, on a similar level, Ty, how did you get into doing editing on YouTube videos? Did you have any resources for that or a community that you sought out?
No.
Motivated.
Well, I'm very bad about finding online communities because it's hard for me to actually jump into the conversation. I lurked on Twitter. I lurked on Reddit.
I relate to that a lot.
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
I looked on Tumblr. I saw your metas, Nat, for like long time before I decided to jump in on YouTube. But I'm just now taking advantage of these online communities. And, and by taking advantage, I'm honestly just forging some really good friendships. I haven't actually been able to, this is the first project that I'm a part of because of an online community, I think. Mm-hmm. Whereas everything else has been like totally self-motivated. Like, I just need to create stuff to put myself into the conversation. When I started making videos, that's when people started giving me like comments and feedback. And all of a sudden I had to be a part of the conversation. Like I actually had to go back and forth with people. And then I was interested in being a part of Reddit conversations and Twitter conversations and whatnot. So it just kind of evolved.
It does change, doesn't it? I think when you mentioned that I wrote meta, like I really was just putting myself out there to like release content, but not necessarily wanting to engage or meet people. Little did I know, 3.5 years later in this community, I'm surrounded by a huge group of people that share like interests and are engaged not only with the content that I'm creating, but with collaborating in community. And I think that is good, but I can also know that it can be overwhelming. So hopefully I'm not feeling that.
I'm very overwhelmed. I have like several communities now that I'm involved in: Asian dramas, mm-hmm. Star Wars, and BTS. And they're very active and I can't keep up with any of them within the same time. Like, so I have to dedicate an amount of time per community. And I'd love to get more involved in the audio dramas, but it's very overwhelming. I have to like sever certain areas in order to like dedicate time, and that's my problem, because I always feel like I'm being left out and I always feel bad about it, but then I never actually like jump in when I need to. So that's just an ongoing fight I think I have with myself.
Well, just say that you're there in spirit, because I think I always assume. So no, I completely understand, because it's really easy to get burnout. We live in a really engaged world, and having online participation can be overwhelming. So yeah, there's the good that comes with the bad. That's the balance of the force for you.
Yeah. And I've only been involved for about a year, I think. I would say, and I'm sure a lot of people can relate to this, I jumped into like actually getting involved into Twitter, YouTube, Reddit last January.
Oh, wow.
So
right after The Last Jedi, huh?
Yeah, of course. So it was all like, it was a lot at one time, like really, really fast. So now like I'm about 1.5 years into all of this, and I'm getting a little burned out and I'm getting a little exhausted, but at the same time, I'm like, okay, what do I need to do in order to stay involved and keep these relationships that I have, but be able to balance life with all of this that's happening online? it's a lot.
I mean, the group that we have here could probably speak well to the work-life balance situation. I know that Kyle has done so much in terms of project management for Fangirls and Fangirling that I'm continuously impressed. It's not easy.
No, it's not. I'm impressed.
But it's just sending out reminder emails.
That's all it is.
I don't know.
It's all you do is just remember when people are supposed to have something done and then gently say, hey, remember this thing you were going to get done? Can you get me an update on when you'll be able to get it done? And then they're like, I'm so sorry. I'm like, well, you don't need to apologize. Just let me know when it's going to be able to happen.
Yeah, just do it. It's okay. It'll be fine.
Or let me know when you can do it if you can't do it right now. And we'll go forward from there. Because you just, when you build a schedule, you build in time for people to be people. Because especially if they're giving you their time for free and they're giving you their energies and their efforts and their skills for free.
Yeah.
You always say, hey, I need it by this date. And that's actually probably 2 weeks before you actually need it, because you want them to feel like you're not pushy and you're not on top of them. You just want to get something done. And sometimes they'll take that full 2 weeks. And then at the end of the day, you're going to say, hey, I'm going to need this at this point because we have a deadline that's coming up really fast. And if I can't get that done, you're putting pressure on me. And I need to put it back on you.
This is some really great management advice. Thank you.
Yeah, honestly, really I should be taking notes.
Yes.
This is helpful for me.
If you treat people how you want to be treated, then, which is the golden rule, then you will always, and I always tell my kids it the other way around. I'm like, don't be the bad guy. Let them be the bad guy. And if they're the bad guy, that doesn't give you the permission to be the bad guy too. So if you have a need, express it clearly, and then allow the other person to then be the bad guy if they're not going to respect it.
Yeah. And there's that old adage, like I think it was Benjamin Franklin or something like that, where it was like, if you obligate somebody to you by asking them to do something for you, then you can create a great friendship because they'll feel like, I owe you, even though you're literally asking them for their time or their efforts. So yeah, it's good. I think it's positive, especially if people are invested and interested in doing it. And, you have to go through an audition process for something like this. You are obviously putting yourself in this mindset that you're going to be spending time on this work for the next how many months? I mean, really, with the amount of episodes, that's almost a year of work. And so
they're not very big episodes. Most of the voice actors could probably sit down and record all of their episodes in 2 hours of time.
That's true. Yeah. But have you ever heard yourself, and then had to record 30 times because you want to get it just right? Is that how you approach it?
Well, that's what I do with every script. I sit down, I do the whole show in one go. I've already recorded all of my lines for Lex. He's set aside, put up on a shelf to be pulled down if need be for retakes.
What?
But I did everything for Lex in 2 hours.
2 hours? Oh my goodness.
Yep.
Yeah, that's some behind the scenes information that I never thought I'd hear. That's amazing.
Yeah. I want to be as consistent in the role as possible. And so I'll take 20 minutes and I'll go through the script, reading every part of it. And then I will sit down and I will take the voice on and take the character on. And then 2 hours in, I'm usually done. So I recorded The Glass Appeal, of which I was the lead. Jason Glass, who is a bioterrorist. It's 12 episodes. And it's 20 odd minutes each and every episode. And I'm half of the lines in it because it's literally me talking to one person. And I did all of that in, I think, 4 hours just in a steady record session.
Wow.
You just gave me the inspiration to do that for myself, considering I, should probably do that for a narration because that's not really going to change. So yeah, thank you. That was great advice that I should have taken. I should have thought to myself, but yeah. As a last kind of topic, I would like to hear what you guys think about the Vanity Fair covers and stories, and also just maybe, Kait, I know you're casual, but you have to explain them.
Oh, yeah.
We'll go around the room to talk a little bit about our excitement for The Rise of Skywalker. And this is the first time I'm using that term on this podcast because we're recording after Celebrations. So yeah, let's talk about our love of what's coming in Star Wars. And Ty, do you want to go first?
Sure. Ooh, yeah. No, I'm very, I'm very excited. I've definitely been plugged in since Celebration to all of the new all of the new stuff. I still call it 9. That's hard it's hard to not call it 9, especially because it's faster than saying The Rise of Skywalker.
Doesn't roll off the tongue at all.
No, it doesn't. We were all laughing about that like right afterwards too.
You gotta call it like the T-Ross.
Yeah,
or something.
T-Ross.
T-Ross. I don't like that.
Tross.
Tross. It's 9. Even Trixie is even better.
Trixie's better,
so.
Yes. I'm going to call it Trixie.
Totally. Every time news comes out, there is this funny reaction on Twitter, like within the fandom and everything, of like within my community. Mm-hmm. With the Raylo community and the Bendemptionists and the, a lot of the female fans, and we all react to it really excitedly. And then about 12 hours to 24 hours later, you get all these people that say, oh, I don't think it's going to go the way we think it's going to go.
Oh, I know that completely. I've been on this roller coaster for
for a longer time than I have. Yeah, for a little bit longer than I have. And it's so funny because I'm like, I've been witnessing this for over a year now, and I'm like, okay, this happens every single time. We get this news, everybody gets really excited, really positive. They have the hope that Star Wars is all about. Not that it's going to end how they want it to end, but that it's going to be
good. Right?
Good. Yeah. That it's going to have some sort of like satisfying conclusion, whatever that may be. And then literally like 24 hours later, everyone's like, oh, no, it's not. It's going to be terrible. It's, it's not going to be what I want it to be or whatever. Like, Rey's going to be this and Kylo's going to be this and he's going to do this. And I'm just like, I don't know. I tend to step out of the fandom when people start doing that because it's really funny to me, but I am so ecstatic. I'm incredibly positive about it. I think Marie Claire and I have talked about this extensively, but we keep coming back to, I want the creators to tell me their story.
Yeah.
Like I want them to tell me how this story is supposed to end. And I trust them. And that's weird, right? Like I actually trust them. I trust Disney. I trust Kait.
I trust them too. I trust, and it's funny because we've experienced such a loss of trust with stuff like Game of Thrones. But in terms of this kind of story, like you have somebody like, I really honestly believe that George Lucas is involved here. And even if he's made his mistakes, he's learned from them. I think that they're doing great. Kathleen Kennedy knows what she's about. Yeah. The cynicism that people have about storytelling is understandable with the content that's being produced nowadays. But at the same token, this is Star Wars where they actually care and they're trying to create stories for children where they're going to speak to generations and not just generations ahead of us, but also, multi-aged groups throughout different cultures as well, which I think is just important in general. So
absolutely.
I get you. I'm with you on the positivity train.
Yeah.
Nobody can stop me now. How do you feel about it, Kait?
Very excited and genuinely looking forward to everything. I think because I'm such a filthy casual, I have the benefit of just sort of having an open heart and mind about it. You know what I mean? Because I kind of gone through the same experience, especially with the more recent movies. Everyone gets all excited and then they seem to all be disappointed. Whereas they're fun Star Wars movies. I go in, they're fun, I'm happy.
That's awesome.
You know what I mean? I think maybe because I'm not as deep in the fandom, I'm not looking for some like great grandiose
plan
connections that have to be just right. I'm genuinely happy to just go enjoy a fun movie. And I love getting like these little tidbits as a lead up to the movie. It occurred to me the reason that I have heard of those things that you mentioned is because I'm now connected with several of you on Twitter because of Fangirls.
Yeah.
And so now I'm somehow like weirdly in the loop on a lot of this stuff. Like I would have had no idea what Raylo meant if someone asked me 6 months ago. Now I do.
Hopefully it's for the better that you know that, not the worst.
That's so funny. You really are Lex's mom.
I know. I'm learning from all the kids. Sweet.
So funny.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite character? That's always what I ask people when they, especially for the sequel trilogy. I always want to know. But if it's just a random Star Wars character, that's fine as well.
Oh, well, I really have a genuine love for Jar Jar Binks since you opened it up to full Star Wars.
Yes, of course. Ahmed Best.
Poor Jar Jar gets hated on, but it's just such a wonderful, fun character that was really meant to be enjoyed probably mostly by kids that Jar Jar's lovely.
So, Caitlin, I don't know if you know this, but all those kids have grown up in the 20 years that came out. And they were all at Celebration.
That's true.
And so when Ahmed Best took the stage, he got a standing ovation from these people.
My heart.
Him so much.
Yeah. It was really heartwarming, especially because he came out recently with his story about being harassed to the point of feeling, professionally unable to continue. And it was just so sad. So I'm so glad to see that people are love his character, love what he's done and contributed to Star Wars. So that's amazing. Thank you. I'm so glad that he's your favorite.
Yeah.
So cool.
Kyle, your thoughts and feelings on it. I'm sure you watched the meltdown in real life.
I don't want to call it epics because it's episode 9.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I like epics. That's amazing. That's a smart one.
That's what I'm going to call it from here on out. You asked a great question. My favorite character is Qui-Gon Jinn.
Yes.
Phantom Menace is the best movie. And all of this, the Vanity Fair, these things have been happening for every movie for countless years.
Yes.
I'm over 40 now, and I just don't have the energy to commit that much of my time and emotional intensity into these things. I am more interested in Dark Phoenix coming out soon.
Really?
I think Marvel and X-Men have meant more to me than Star Wars throughout my entire life, and that storyline is my favorite storyline of them all.
Oh, cool.
But to bring it back to Star Wars, I'm like, this is a multi-billion-dollar industry, and this is their tentpole. This is the culminating event in the big ring, and they are going to fill it with the best. They hire the best people who are the best in their industry to both film and produce and Foley and grip and write and act, and they would not have put the pieces that they have put in place for the last 2 movies in the way that they did without a solid and divined intention for this movie. So we should expect theater. We should expect spectacle. This is the big ring circus. We all have a seat with the peanut shell floor in front of us, the popcorn shell floor in front of us, and we can enjoy what will be the culminating event of this 9-story arc that George intended sometime after Star Wars got famous in the first place.
Yes.
And I think it's going to be wonderful.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a wonderful note to end on too, because I am so happy right now. I've got a big grin on my face just thinking about it going into the theater in December.
Yay.
They're just going to protect that investment too much. Like, they want to make something that everyone is going to love. I mean, and that's what they did with Phantom Menace. Despite what people say and all of the hate and whatnot that came from it, that was just the virulent few.
Yeah.
It is the loudest, but we can drown them out with love.
I don't want to close though without saying how much I love Caitlin's voice work in this episode and how because I didn't get to hear it, she really made me feel like this lady's a mom that cares, and she welcomed these people into her home because she recognized she sees immediately how important they are to Lex.
Oh.
And Ty's voice work, I have to pause because every single time I go to say Allie, I mean to say Ty because I have people into my head. And Marie Claire is like, this is going to happen. You're going to start calling Ty Allie all the time. But Ty, you need to do more voice work, and it's a gift and a skill you have, because I feel your character the whole time. Your character is the point of view character. We see everything from your character's perspective. And so when Lex comes in with his monologue, it's a bit jarring to me because this show, this Fangirls, is about Allie's journey, and you are the best person suited for it.
I'm going to second that. I think you did amazing work, not only on the last 3 episodes, but, just in general, I get the impression that character is not only sort of you, but also it comes from a different place where you're able to have this sort of innocence and joviality that is so, so welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
I know it's awkward to respond to compliment.
It is. I've acted a lot in the past, and it's only in the last few years that I haven't been able to. It's mainly stage, on the stage. And I never knew people liked my voice. When I started doing videos, people were like, oh, wow, your voice is like, so like, I want to listen to your voice all the time. And I'm like, okay, that's weird. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm only just now understanding it and figuring it out. And I'm glad that people are like connecting to the character. Like that's all I can hope for, because when Marie Claire wanted me to do this, I was really scared, because being someone that's like new to the fandom, and like, I'm not Allie, but in some ways, like I have the passion that Allie has. Like I was really insecure about doing it, but it's been such a crazy journey. I just want, every time I feel like with this fangirling thing, like with the first episode we recorded as well, I was just so excited for people to hear the next episode. And like with this one as well, I'm so excited for people to listen to the next episode, because we are all progressing so much. And every single episode, as far as like the acting and like the quality of the sound, and, you know, Christina's doing an amazing job editing all of this. And it's just, everybody's just really just getting so much out of it, I think. And I just want people to hear more of it. That's all I can say without spoiling anything.
Yeah, we can't spoil it, but we can tell you that, you know, as we're moving into the second part of the story, we're going to have much more conflict, drama, romance, all of the things that everybody wants to hear. So
yeah,
I'm looking forward to it as well.
Yay.
Yeah, it's not just hand touching in a bedroom.
You can't really record that sound, can you? No. If two hands touch in a bedroom, no one's around to hear it.
And yet, Marie Claire did such a good job of creating that moment. Like I felt like I was in the room, listening to it again on the train, tears pouring down my face again, because I cry listening to every single fan. Like,
Me too.
It's so amazing to see somebody's dream come true in a digestible format. Like, I can't imagine what it's like for actors in Hollywood or Bollywood even, or who perform and create these things that people then can consume and take into and make part of their own entity, like so many people have done with Star Wars. And then we have created this, and it may be just something light, fluffy, or fun for other people, but it means so much to me.
Yeah.
It means lots to us too. And I'm your audience.
I second that. It means a lot to me too. I cry too.
I cry a lot too. It's the hormones usually, but
Caitlin's like, I'm a mom.
Do you have any pets? Because that immediately makes you a mom.
Not currently. I have in the past. Our stupid apartment doesn't allow pets. So, yeah.
That's too bad.
Oh, it's okay. We're looking to move. I'll fix it soon. I'll be a pet mom soon.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us today. And I'm really looking forward to the next episode, of course. And I'd like everybody to go ahead and plug how you'd like to be contacted on social media, if you like. We'll start with you, Kait.
Okay, you can reach me mostly on Twitter. My personal handle is @belatedkait, so the word belated and then Kait. Or you can reach the Insomnia Project Twitter. That's @InsomniaProj, so just ending in PROJ.
Wonderful, thank you. How about you, Ty?
Yeah, follow me on Twitter @black_TYM. Or, check out my YouTube channel. It's called Wit and Folly, WIT and FOLLY.
Definitely check out the YouTube channel. She's got some amazing videos, especially on Star Wars. Some
and
really
some
good
works.
ones.
Yay, thank you.
Yay, I'm excited. I'm subscribed. I can't wait to get that notification bell. Okay. And how about you, Kyle?
I just want to reiterate that you should follow these two lovely guests who are sitting here with me, because Ty is the feistiest person I know on Twitter.
Oh, God.
She is, in a good way.
And Caitlin, Insomnia_Proj, Twitter is literally laugh out loud, gut busting funny. And always,
I work hard at it.
Oh man, I made a comment yesterday on Twitter. My Twitter handle is @TavernTalesDM, and follow me there or not, but follow Insomnia Proj, because I posted yesterday that was like, can I just please get 8 hours of sleep? And immediately I get a response of no from Insomnia Project. So how can you not feel like you're connected, and there's a touch point there, and it's hilarious every single time I interact with that account. So kudos to you.
Wonderful. Yeah, I just actually literally just followed.
Yay.
So.
Everyone should follow it. It's hilarious. Keep it up. Put an episode out.
Yes.
And of course, you can find me, Nat, at Ashes for Foxes on Twitter. And also, I have a WordPress blog where you can find my old meta if you're looking for it. I do still have my Tumblr up, but it is a dead space, and it will remain so for the rest of the year.
Like all of Tumblr.
Oh, sorry. I had a fly in my face. That is not surviving the editing process.
I'll just put it in the back. Post credits, flying face.
Yeah. I'm not the smartest person in the world, so I'm not even the smartest person in the room.
Or are you by yourself in a room?
Yes, my cat is smarter than I am.
Oh.
He's over here.
That's hilarious.
And he's licking his butt right now, so anyway.
That's going to make the end credits.
Yeah.
Not the fly in the face.
Feel free. This is my whole shtick, right? I'm not a very professional interviewer. I tend to just, you've heard my podcast. It's literally me self-owning myself the entire time.
Love it.